The massive bioship, Eternal Dominion, moved through space like a living mountain. Its dark green hull pulsed with organic veins that carried energy from the core to weapon pods scattered across its surface. The ship was 12 kilometers long and had been alive for over 2,000 years. It was the flagship of Admiral Kethfer, ruler of the 47th Conquest Fleet. Admiral Kethfer stood on the bridge looking out at the stars. His tall gray body had 4 arms and eyes that glowed red in the dim light. Like all Vorthines, he had smooth skin that looked like polished stone and a mouth full of sharp teeth. He wore the black uniform of the Empire with golden symbols that showed his rank. Around his neck hung the Conquest Medal, given only to those who had enslaved 50 different worlds. The bridge was a living space carved from the ship's own flesh. The walls breathed slowly, and the floor felt warm under their feet. Control panels grew from the walls like strange plants, their surfaces covered with symbols that glowed and changed color. The air smelled of metal and something sweet that came from the ship's biological systems. Commander Velsia approached the Admiral with quick steps. She was younger than Kethra, but just as deadly. Her uniform showed she had conquered 20 worlds herself. In her lower hands, she carried a data tablet that pulsed with new information. Admiral, we have received the survey report from Scout Pack 7, Velsia said. Her voice had the sharp edge that all Vorthan officers used when giving important news. Kethfer turned from the viewing window, his red eyes focused on the commander. What have they found in the outer territories? A new species, Admiral. They call themselves humans. They live on a single world. They call Earth in what they named the Terran system. Velsia held up the data tablet so Kethfer could see the images. The Admiral looked at the pictures of the blue and green planet. It looked peaceful and weak. Around the planet were small metal stations and tiny ships that looked like toys compared to Vorthon biovessels. Tell me about their technology level. Very primitive, Admiral. Teas, chemical, rockets to move between their planet and moon. Their largest ships are only 500 meters long. Our scouts counted maybe 300 small vessels in their entire system. Velsia swiped to show more images. They have basic energy weapons and simple metal armor on their ships. Kethfer laughed, a sound like rocks grinding together. 500 meters. My personal shuttle is larger than that. He walked to the tactical display table in the center of the bridge. The table showed a 3-dimensional map of local space with the Terran system marked in blue. What about their population? The Admiral asked. 8 billion on their home world. No colonies on other planets. They seem to live only on Earth with some small outposts on their moon. Velsia joined him at the tactical table. Intelligence says they have many different groups that fight each other. They are not united like proper civilizations. Even better, Kethfer said. He touched controls on the table and a display zoomed in on Earth. Divided species are easier to control. We can make deals with some groups to help us control the others. The Admiral studied the tactical information. According to Vorthan intelligence, the humans had discovered faster than light travel only recently, but their ships moved slowly and their weapons were weak. It would be like taking toys from children. How many ships should we send? Velsia asked. The full fleet. Kethvar shook his head. That would be wasteful. 3 dreadnoughts should be more than enough. The Eternal Dominion, the Star Render, and the Void Hunter. We will leave the rest of the fleet here to guard against any surprises. 3 ships against an entire star system. Velsia looked surprised. Commander, look at their technology again. Kethfer pointed to images of human ships. Their vessels are made of simple metal. Our biohulls can repair damage faster than their weapons can cause it. One of our dreadnoughts could destroy their entire fleet. Velsia nodded. She had seen this many times before. New species always thought their technology was advanced until they met the Vorthan Empire. Then they learned the truth about galactic power. What classification should we prepare for the humans? She asked. Cuthbert thought for a moment. The Empire had standard classifications for all conquered species. Some became workers in mines and factories. Others became food for the bioships. The smart ones became servants and translators. They looked strong enough for heavy labor. We will keep the smartest ones for technical work and send the rest to the mining worlds. Their planet looks rich in resources we can use. Should we prepare the standard surrender demands? Of course, we will give them the choice. Join the Empire willingly and keep some of their leaders, or face complete destruction. Most species choose to surrender when they see our ships. Admiral walked back to the viewing window. Outside, the other ships of the 47th Conquest Fleet moved in perfect formation. Each bioship was a work of art grown over centuries. Their hulls had weapon pods that could destroy planets and shields that had never been broken. Send the orders to Captain Mordic on the Star Render and Captain Sylvan on the Void Hunter. We leave for the Terran system in 6 hours. Yes, Admiral. Velsha made notes on her tablet. Should we send advanced scouts? No need. The humans already know we exist. Our scout ships were not trying to hide. Let them see us coming. Fear makes conquest easier. Cuthbert smiled, showing his sharp teeth. In 3,000 years, the Vorthan Empire had never failed to conquer a new species. The humans would be no different. Their small ships and weak weapons would break like glass against Vorthan biotechnology. Commander, prepare the classification chambers. We will need space for 8 billion new servants. At once, Admiral. As Velsha left to carry out her orders, Cuthbert looked out at the stars again. Soon, there would be one more species serving the Empire. The humans would learn what every other race had learned. In this galaxy, only the Vorthians ruled. Everyone else existed only to serve. The Eternal Dominion began to change course, its living hull adjusting to new gravitational forces. Behind it, 2 other massive bioships followed. The 47th Conquest Fleet was moving toward Earth, confident in another easy victory. None of them knew that deep space sensors had already detected their approach. The humans were watching and preparing for war. Captain Kim Taman stood in the observation deck of Luna Station, watching the Earth rotate slowly below. The space station was built inside a crater on the dark side of the moon, hidden from most sensors. Through the thick windows, he could see the blue marble of humanity's home world. It looked peaceful, but Kim knew that peace was about to end. The door behind him opened with a soft hiss. Lieutenant Commander Lee Ji-hoon entered, carrying a datapad with urgent markings. His face was serious, and his uniform showed the stress wrinkles of someone who had not slept in days. Captain, the Deep Space Array has confirmed it. Kai, 3 large alien vessels are moving toward our system. They will arrive in 72 hours, Lee said. Kim turned from the window. He was a tall man with short black hair and calm dark eyes. His uniform bore the insignia of the Korean Space Defense Force, an organization that officially did not exist. Show me the scans. Lee activated his datapad and a holographic display appeared between them. 3 massive shapes moved through space like dark clouds. Each ship was bigger than anything humanity had ever built. They moved in formation with purpose and confidence. Analysis confirms these are the same bioships we have been tracking for months. The aliens call themselves Vorthans. Our stealth probes have been watching their expansion across the Outer Rim territories, Lee explained. Kim studied the alien ships. Intelligence reports said the Vorthans had conquered hundreds of worlds. They turned entire species into slaves and stripped planets of resources. Now, they were coming for Earth. Have you informed Admiral Park? Kim asked. She is already in the command center with the Defense Council. They are waiting for your report. Kim nodded and walked toward the door. Luna Station was more than just an observation post. It was the hidden headquarters of humanity's real military force. The ships that orbited Earth openly were just for show. The real fleet was scattered across the solar system, invisible and waiting. The command center was deep inside the station, protected by layers of armor and energy shields. Admiral Park. Soyeon stood at the central console, studying tactical displays. She was a small woman with sharp eyes and silver hair pulled back in a tight bun. Her uniform was plain, but everyone in the room knew she was the most dangerous person in the solar system. Around the room, officers from different nations worked together. The public thought Earth was still divided into competing countries. They did not know about the secret alliance formed 20 years ago when humanity first detected alien signals from deep space. Captain Kim, report Admiral Park, said, without looking up from her displays. The Vorthen fleet consists of 3 Dreadnought-class bioships. Based on our intelligence, each ship carries approximately 50,000 crew members and enough firepower to destroy a small moon. Kim joined her at the console. Dr. Choi Min-young looked up from her research station. She was the head of the Xenobiology division and had spent years studying alien technology recovered from ancient crash sites. Admiral, I have completed my analysis of Vorthen weaknesses. Tell us what you found, Doctor. Their bioships are impressive, but they have critical flaws. The organic hulls are vulnerable to specific electromagnetic frequencies. More importantly, Vorthen tactical thinking is rigid, okay? They use the same attack patterns they have used for thousands of years. Captain Yoon Hae-won entered the command center. She was the commanding officer of humanity's most secret project. Her presence meant the experimental warship was ready for combat. Admiral, the Indomitable reports all systems operational. We are ready to implement Operation Silent Thunder. Admiral Park smiled for the first time in weeks. Operation Silent Thunder was humanity's plan to deal with alien invasion. It had taken 20 years to prepare and involved technology that pushed the limits of physics. Gentlemen and ladies, the moment we have prepared for has arrived. The Vorthens think they are hunting primitive prey. They believe our technology is weak and our ships are small. Let them keep believing that. Lee activated the main tactical display. It showed the solar system with Earth at the center. Red markers showed the approaching alien fleet. Blue markers showed the positions of human ships, but most of the blue markers were invisible to alien sensors. The enemy will enter our system expecting to find a few hundred small ships and some orbital platforms. That is exactly what they will see. Admiral Park continued. Our stealth fleet will remain hidden until the trap is complete. Dr. Choi brought up images of Vorthen physiology on her screen. The aliens have 4 arms and enhanced physical strength, but their reaction times are slower than humans. There. Overconfidence in their biotechnology makes them predictable. What about their weapons? Asked Captain Yoon. Plasma cannons and biomissiles. Powerful, but slow to recharge. Our ships can fire 3 times faster than theirs, Lee answered. Admiral Park walked to the center of the room where everyone could see her. For 20 years, we have watched these aliens destroy civilization after civilization. They turn entire species into slaves. They strip worlds bare of resources. Now they come for Earth. The room was silent. Everyone knew what was at stake. They think humans are weak because we fight among ourselves. They think our technology is primitive because our visible ships are small. They have never faced a species that hides its true strength until the perfect moment to strike. Captain. Kim looked at the tactical display, showing the alien approach. Admiral, what are your orders for the visible fleet? Captain Kim, you will command the decoy fleet. Use the holographic projectors to make your ships look like the primitive vessels the aliens expect. Lead them into the inner system. Make them think you are retreating in panic. Understood, Admiral. Captain Yoon, the Indomitable will remain cloaked until I give the signal. When you reveal yourself, make sure the aliens understand they have made a terrible mistake." "It will be my pleasure, Admiral." Admiral Park looked around the room at the faces of humanity's defenders. They came from different countries, in different backgrounds, but they were united by a single purpose. Earth would not fall without a fight. The Vorthines have ruled this galaxy for 3,000 years. Today, their rule ends. Today, they learn that humanity does not surrender. We adapt, we evolve, we fight back. The alien fleet continued its approach toward Earth, confident in another easy conquest. They had no idea that humanity was ready for war. The Vorthin fleet entered the outer edge of the Terran system like 3 hungry predators. Admiral Kethver stood on the bridge of the Eternal Dominion, watching his tactical displays with satisfaction. Everything was going exactly as predicted. "Admiral, our sensors are detecting the human fleet," Commander Velsia reported, just as intelligence said. "Small metal ships, approximately 300 vessels total." Kethver looked at the display, showing tiny dots scattered across the system. The largest human ships were barely visible on his screens. "They look like insects compared to our bioships. Are they moving to intercept us?" "No, Admiral. They appear to be retreating toward their homeworld. Some are broadcasting what seem to be panic signals." The Admiral laughed his grinding laugh. "Of course, they are panicking. They have never seen real warships before." He walked to the communication station, opened a channel to all human vessels. The bridge crew worked quickly to establish communication. Within minutes, they had connected to the human fleet. On the main screen appeared a human face. The creature looked pale and frightened. "King Taman of the Earth Defense Force. Who are you, and what do you want in our system?" the human said. Kethver stepped forward so the human could see him clearly. His 4 arms spread wide, and his red eyes glowed. "I am Admiral Kethver of the Vorthin Empire. Your species is now property of the Empire. Surrender immediately, and your deaths will be quick." The human captain looked even more frightened. "Please, we are a peaceful species. We have no quarrel with your empire. Surely we can negotiate." "There is nothing to negotiate. You will surrender or be destroyed. You have 1 hour to make your decision." Kethver cut the communication channel. Commander Velsia studied her tactical displays. "Admiral, the human ships are continuing to retreat. They are moving in a scattered formation toward their inner planets." "Perfect. Deploy our ships in hunting formation. We'll surround them before they can reach their home world." Kethver gave the order he had given hundreds of times before. The 3 massive bioships spread out across the system. The Star Render moved to cut off the human retreats while the Void Hunter flanked them from the other side. The Eternal Dominion stayed in the center, ready to destroy any ship that tried to escape. Captain Mordic of the Star Render reported over the communication system. "Admiral, the humans are splitting into smaller groups. Some are heading for their moon, others toward the planet with rings. Let them run. We'll make the hunt more interesting," Kethver replied. "Begin charging weapons. We will start with their largest ships." On the bridge of the Eternal Dominion, the crew prepared for battle. The bioship's weapons pods began to glow as energy flowed through the organic conduits. The hull itself seemed to become more alert, ready for combat. Commander Veltia monitored the human fleet movements. "Admiral, something seems strange about their retreat pattern. Okay, they are not moving as fast as they could. Fear makes creatures do stupid things. They are probably arguing among themselves about whether to fight or surrender." Kethver was not concerned. He had seen this behavior from other species. The Vorthin ships moved deeper into the system, following the retreating humans. The bioship's sensors scanned everything around them, looking for hidden weapons or surprise attacks. They found nothing. "Unusual distance to the human homeworld?" Kethvar asked. "For hours at current speed, Admiral. The human ships will reach their planet before us, but they cannot escape the system. Send a message to the Empire. Tell them the Terran system will be ours by tomorrow. Meanwhile, Captain Kim Taman sat on the bridge of his ship, watching the alien pursuit. His crew looked nervous, but Kim knew they were all acting. Every person on his ship was a trained military officer, not the frightened civilians they appeared to be. Captain, the aliens are taking the bait perfectly, reported his tactical officer. All 3 ships are spreading out, just as Admiral Park predicted. Kim nodded. The holographic projectors were working perfectly. His advanced stealth cruiser looked like a primitive transport ship to alien sensors. Round the system, dozens of other human ships were running the same deception. Any word from Luna Command? Kim asked. Admiral Park confirms all stealth vessels are in position. The Indomitable is holding station above the alien flagship, still undetected. Cam smiled. The aliens thought they were hunting helpless prey. They had no idea they were walking into the most carefully planned trap in human history, on the Eternal Dominion. Admiral Kethfer watched the human ships flee toward Earth. The sight filled him with the same satisfaction he had felt during hundreds of other conquests. Soon, this system would belong to the Empire, and 8 billion humans would serve Worth and masters. Admiral, we are detecting some unusual energy readings from the inner system, Commander Velsha reported. What kind of readings? Unknown, Admiral. The signatures do not match any technology in our databases. They could be natural phenomena from the star. Cathra was not worried. Unknown energy readings were common when exploring new systems. Continue the pursuit. Nothing can change the outcome now. The 3 bioships moved through the darkness of space like ancient hunters following wounded prey. Their crews prepared for the final attack that would end human independence forever. Weapon systems charged, boarding pods ready, classification. Chambers prepared for new slaves. None of them noticed the space around them beginning to shimmer. None of them detected the massive shapes hiding in dimensions beyond their understanding. The Vorthans saw only what the humans wanted them to see. Admiral Kethper looked out at the stars and planned the victory celebration he would hold on Earth. In a few hours, a human homeworld would be under Vorthan control. The conquest would be complete. He had no idea that in those same few hours, the galaxy would change forever. The age of Vorthan supremacy was about to end, and it would end with the first glimpse of what humans called a fair fight. The trap was set. The aliens were exactly where humanity wanted them. Now it was time to spring the surprise that would shake the foundations of galactic power. Admiral Kethfer stared at his tactical display with growing confusion. The space around his fleet was beginning to shimmer like water in the desert heat. Strange ripples moved across his sensors, showing patterns that should not exist. Commander Velsha, what is causing these distortions? He demanded. Velsha worked frantically at her control station. Her 4 hands moved quickly across the bio-interface panels, but the readings made no sense. Admiral, I am detecting massive gravitational anomalies appearing around our fleet. The signatures are unlike anything in our databases. Is it some kind of natural phenomenon? Kethver asked, but his voice carried doubt. In 3,000 years of conquest, the Vorthians had never encountered anything like this. Unknown, Admiral. The distortions are too regular, too precise. They almost look like... Velsia stopped speaking as her instruments screamed warnings. Above the Eternal Dominion, reality itself seemed to tear apart. The darkness of space rippled and twisted, revealing something that should not exist. A shadow began to form, growing larger and more solid with each passing second. Admiral, Velsha shouted. Something massive is materializing directly above. U.S. Kethfer looked up through the bioship's transparent sections and felt fear for the first time in his long life. A vast dark shape was becoming visible, so large it blocked out the stars. Metal gleamed where organic tissue should be. Sharp angles cut through space where curved bioforms belonged. The U.S. Indomitable finished its emergence from cloak space. 15 kilometers of human engineering hung in the void above the alien flagship like a geometric mountain. Its hull was midnight black with silver lines that pulsed with unknown energy. Weapon ports dotted its surface like the eyes of some ancient god of war. On the bridge of the Indomitable, Captain Yoon Hae-won stood calmly watching the alien reaction. Her ship was humanity's greatest achievement, built in secret over 20 years using technology that pushed the boundaries of physics. Round her, the crew worked with quiet efficiency. Captain, all weapon systems are online. Cloaking field is stable. The alien flagship is directly below us, reported her tactical officer. Excellent. Open a channel to Admiral Park on Luna Command. The communication screen lit up, showing Admiral Park Soyoung in the Luna Station Command Center. Behind her, dozens of officers monitored the unfolding battle. Captain Yoon, you are cleared for demonstration. Show them what human engineering can accomplish, Admiral Park said. Understood, Admiral. Beginning first demonstration now. Captain Yoon turned to her weapons officer. Target the nearest alien dreadnought. Single shot from the main cannon. On the Eternal Dominion's bridge, chaos erupted as sensors detected the impossible ship above them. Admiral Kethfer stared upward, his red eyes wide with shock. The human vessel was larger than any ship ever built. Its design was completely alien to Vorthon understanding. How is this possible? He whispered. The humans are primitive. They have no technology like this. Commander Velsha was studying her instruments with growing horror. Admiral, the ship's energy readings are off our scales. Its power source is generating more energy than our entire fleet combined. Kana. Weapons does it carry? Unknown, Admiral. I am detecting weapon systems that do not match any known technology. The energy signatures are. Velshi paused as new warnings appeared on her screens. Admiral, they are targeting the Star Render. On the Star Render, Captain Mordick watched his death approach. The human ship above them rotated slightly, bringing a massive cannon to bear. The weapon was larger than his ship's biocore, crackling with energy that made space itself bend and twist. All crew, brace for impact, Mordick shouted, but he knew it was useless. The Indomitable's main cannon fired. A beam of pure antimatter energy lanced through space, focused to a precision measured in millimeters. The Star Render, a bioship that had conquered 50 worlds and survived 1,000 battles, simply ceased to exist. Where the massive alien dreadnought had been, only empty space remained. 12 kilometers of living ship, 50,000 crew members, and 3 centuries of Vorthon military history had been erased in less than a second. Admiral Kethfer watched his fleet companion disappear and felt his certainty crumble. That is impossible. Bioships cannot be destroyed so easily. It's our regeneration systems, our armor. Admiral, the Star Render is gone, Velsha reported unnecessarily. Complete molecular disruption. There is nothing left, not even debris. Around the Vorthon fleet, space continued to shimmer and twist. More shapes began emerging from cloak fields, each one revealing another impossible human vessel. Sleek destroyers materialized alongside massive cruisers. Each ship bore the angular design that spoke of technology beyond Vorthon understanding. Captain Kim Taemin watched from his command ship as the human fleet revealed itself. The small, primitive vessels the aliens had been chasing flickered and disappeared, revealed as holographic projections. In their place stood ships that gleamed with advanced armor and bristled with weapons. Captain, all stealth vessels have completed emergence. Total fleet count, 47 ships, including 12 heavy cruisers and the Indomitable, his tactical officer reported. Kim smiled. Okay. The aliens had expected to hunt 300 weak ships. Instead, they faced a fleet equipped with technology that treated the laws of physics as mere suggestions. On the Void Hunter, Captain Sylvan stared at the human ships surrounding his vessel. Each one was smaller than a Vorthan dreadnought, but their energy readings suggested power levels that should be impossible. "Captain, we are being scanned by multiple targeting systems. Human ships have us surrounded," his tactical officer reported. Sylvan had commanded the Void Hunter for 200 years. He had seen the Empire crush every enemy it faced. Now, for the first time, he understood what it felt like to be the prey. Admiral Kethra stood frozen on his bridge, watching his perfect ambush turn into a perfect trap. The humans had not been fleeing in panic. They had been leading the Vorthan fleet exactly where they wanted them. "Admiral, incoming transmission from the human flagship," Valsia announced. Captain Yoon Hae-won appeared on the communication screen. She looked calm and confident, like someone who held all the advantages. "Admiral Kethra, I am Captain Yoon of the UES Indomitable. You are now surrounded by the Terran Defense Fleet. You have 30 seconds to decide your next action." Kethra found his voice. "This is impossible. Humans are primitive. Your technology is weak." "Was weak, Admiral. That was 20 years ago. We have been preparing for this day ever since we detected your Empire's expansion. Humans learn quickly, when properly motivated." The Vorthan Admiral looked around at the human ships surrounding his fleet. Each vessel represented technology that should not exist. The galaxy's weakest species had somehow become its strongest. "Coups, quickly, Admiral. Surrender and leave our system, or discover what other surprises human engineering has prepared for you." Admiral Kethver stared at Captain Yoon on his communication screen. The human woman looked calm while his entire fleet faced destruction. For 3,000 years, it had been Vorthans who offered surrender terms to weaker species. The roles were reversed. "You give me 30 seconds to decide," Kethver said, his voice shaking with rage and fear. "The Vorthan Empire does not surrender to primitive species." Captain Yoon's expression did not change. "Admiral, you still do not understand. We are no longer primitive. Ward, would you like another demonstration?" Before Kethver could respond, space around the Void Hunter erupted with energy. Human ships had surrounded Captain Sylvan's bioship and fired simultaneously. But these were not killing shots. Instead, streams of energy wrapped around the alien vessel like glowing chains. "Admiral," Commander Valsia shouted, "the humans are using some kind of containment field on the Void Hunter. The bioship cannot move or fire weapons." Kethver watched in horror as his second dreadnought became completely helpless. The energy chains held it in place while human ships took precise scanning measurements. They were studying Vorthan biotechnology like scientists examining an insect. "How are they doing this?" he demanded. "Unknown, Admiral. The energy patterns are completely outside our understanding. It is as if they are rewriting the laws of physics around Captain Sylvanson's ship." On Luna Station, Admiral Park So-young watched the demonstration with satisfaction. The containment field was one of humanity's newest weapons. It's developed from ancient alien technology found in deep space ruins. It could hold any ship in place without destroying it. "Captain Yoon, excellent work. The aliens are getting the message," Admiral Park said through the communication link. "Hack. Thank you, Admiral. Should we proceed to the next phase?" "Yes, it is time they learned the full truth about humanity." Dr. Choi Min-young stepped forward at Luna Station. As head of xenobiology, she had studied the Vorthon Empire for years. Now she would speak directly to their leaders on the Eternal Dominion. A new face appeared on the communication screen. Dr. Choi looked small and peaceful compared to the military officers, but her words carried the weight of scientific certainty. "Admiral Kethver, I am Dr. Choi Min-young of the Terran Research Division. For 20 years, we have been studying your Empire's expansion across the galaxy. We know about the species you have enslaved and the worlds you have destroyed." Kethver felt confused. Why was this small human talking about research when his fleet faced annihilation? We also know about your greatest weakness, Dr. Choi continued. Your empire has ruled for 3,000 years without facing real opposition. You have become predictable. Every conquest follows the same pattern. Every battle uses the same tactics. What are you talking about? Cuthbert demanded. Evolution. Admiral, your species stopped evolving because you never faced serious challenges. Humans are different. We evolved on a world that tried to kill us every day. Ice ages, volcanic eruptions, asteroid impacts, diseases, wars. Adaptation is written into our genetic code. Commander Velsha looked at her instruments with growing fear. Admiral, I am detecting massive energy buildups throughout the human fleet. All ships are charging weapons. Dr. Choi's image was replaced by Admiral Park So-young. The human admiral looked directly at Cuthbert with eyes that had seen too much war. Admiral, you have a choice. Order your remaining ships to leave our system immediately or face complete destruction. This is your only warning. Cuthbert's pride fought with his survival instincts. The Vordan Empire had never retreated from a weaker species. But the humans were clearly not weaker. The evidence surrounded his fleet in the form of impossible ships and unimaginable weapons. If we leave, what guarantee do we have that you will not attack our other territories? He asked. None. Admiral Park replied honestly. Humanity is no longer trapped on one world, Admiral. We have been spreading across the galaxy for years, establishing hidden bases and watching your empire's crimes. Today marks the beginning of a new age. As if summoned by her words, new contacts appeared on Vorthon sensors throughout the galaxy. Deep space monitoring stations detected human ships emerging from cloak fields near major Vorthon installations. The impossible fleet that surrounded Cuthbert was not humanity's entire military force. It was just one small part of a much larger plan. Captain Kim Taemin opened a communication channel from his ship. Admiral Cuthbert, this is Captain Kim of the Terran Defense Force. I want you to understand something important. The ships you see around you were not built to conquer. They were built to defend. Defend against what? Cuthbert asked. Against empires that enslave entire species, against fleets that destroy worlds for resources, against anyone who thinks they have the right to decide which species deserve freedom. On the bridge of the Indomitable, Captain Yoon received new orders from Admiral Park. The time for demonstrations was over. Now came the moment that would reshape galactic politics forever. Admiral Cuthbert, you have 60 seconds to begin your withdrawal from this system. If any Vorthan ship fires a weapon or attempts to approach Earth, we will consider it an act of war. Cuthbert looked around his bridge at the crew who had served him faithfully for decades. They were all staring at him, waiting for orders that could determine the fate of their entire civilization. Admiral, Commander Velsha said quietly, our weapons cannot penetrate their shields. Our armor cannot stop their energy beams. If we fight, we will lose everything. For the first time in his long military career, Admiral Cuthbert gave the order he never thought he would speak. All ships begin withdrawal to the edge of the system. Do not target human vessels. Do not approach their planets. The massive bioships began to turn away from Earth, their organic hulls pulsing with frustrated energy. The Void Hunter was released from its energy chains and slowly followed the flagship toward empty space as the Vorthan fleet limped away from the Terran system. Admiral Park opened a galaxy-wide communication channel. Her words reached every species that had suffered under Vorthon rule. This is Admiral Park So-young of the Terran Defense Force. Today, the Vorthan Empire learned that their age of unchallenged conquest is over. Any species that threatens peaceful civilizations will face the same choice we offered them: leave in peace or face the consequences. Throughout the galaxy, enslaved species heard the message and dared to hope. Resistance movements that had hidden for centuries began planning uprisings. The galaxy's balance of power had shifted in a single day. On Earth, people looked up at the stars and knew they were no longer alone. Humanity had taken its place among the galactic powers, not as conquerors, but as protectors. The age of Vorthan supremacy was over. The age of human guardianship had begun.